Have you ever wondered what truly makes a person happy? Is it wealth, fame, or possessions? What if I told you that the secret to happiness could be found in the simplest of lives? Stick with me, because in this story, we're about to find out just how powerful contentment and peace of mind really are. Once upon a time, in a quiet, humble town, there lived a poor cobbler. His shop was small, his earnings modest, yet he was always seen with a smile on his face, humming a cheerful tune as he worked. He repaired shoes day after day, but his heart was light, his soul at peace. While others around him worried about making ends meet, he never seemed troubled. Despite the struggle, he found joy in the simple act of working with his hands. Every morning his voice filled the air as he sang his favorite melodies, creating a symphony of hope amidst his worn-out shoes. It was a happiness that money could not buy. Not far from the cobbler, there was a rich man. A man who had everything: wealth, a grand mansion, servants, and luxuries beyond imagination. But despite his fortune, he was deeply unhappy. Every night he tossed and turned in bed, consumed by fears of losing his wealth. His mind was filled with endless worries. Would someone steal his riches? Would he ever feel secure? One night, as the rich man lay awake, he heard the cobbler's sweet singing drifting through the air. How could someone with so little be so full of joy? What was his secret? Driven by curiosity, the rich man decided to visit the cobbler. The next morning, the rich man walked to the cobbler's modest home. He watched as the cobbler worked, his needle stitching through worn leather. The rich man couldn't help but ask, "You always seem so happy, even though you have so little. What is your secret?" The cobbler looked up, a warm smile spreading across his face. "There's no secret, sir. I'm happy because I have enough. My work gives me just enough to eat, and that's all I need. I'm content." The rich man thought to himself, "How can this be? How can someone so poor find happiness while I, with all my wealth, am miserable?" Determined to find out the truth, he decided to test the cobbler. The rich man reached into his bag and pulled out a heavy sack of gold coins, placing it on the cobbler's table. "Take this," he said. "You work hard, and you deserve more than just enough. This will make your life easier. It's a gift." The cobbler's eyes widened in disbelief. He had never seen so much gold in his life. "Thank you, sir," he said, feeling both grateful and overwhelmed. That night, for the first time in years, the cobbler did not sing. Instead, he stared at the bag of gold, consumed by thoughts of what could happen to it. What if someone tried to steal it? What if thieves broke into his home? His peaceful world had begun to change. As days passed, the cobbler's joy faded. The simple pleasure of his work was replaced by anxiety. His once carefree life now felt heavy, burdened by the very wealth the rich man had given him. He stopped singing. The cobbler's mind was filled with thoughts of the gold, the fear of losing it, the worry of keeping it safe. Even his work suffered as his heart grew restless. Finally, the cobbler could take no more. One day he went to the rich man's house and placed the bag of gold back on his table. "Sir," he said, his voice filled with sincerity, "I cannot keep this. Since you gave it to me, I have lost my peace. I no longer sing, and my days are filled with worry. I would rather return to my simple life, where I was happy, than live with this burden of gold." The rich man listened, his eyes full of understanding. He sat for a moment reflecting on the cobbler's words. Then he nodded slowly. "You've taught me an important lesson today. Happiness is not about having more. It's about being content with what you have." The cobbler left the rich man's house feeling lighter, freer. He returned to his small shop, where the joyful melodies began to fill the air once again. The townspeople, hearing his cheerful singing, knew the cobbler had found his peace once more. This story teaches us something profound. We often believe that more money or more things will bring us happiness, but in reality, true happiness comes from being content with what we already have. The cobbler was not rich in wealth, but he was rich in peace, gratitude, and simplicity. The rich man learned the hard way that wealth without peace is a heavy burden. We, too, can easily become distracted by the pursuit of material wealth, losing sight of the simple joys of life. So before you chase after more things, take a moment to appreciate the little things that truly bring you happiness, peace, simplicity, and contentment. Because just like the cobbler, sometimes having less is truly having more. Thank you for watching. If this story resonated with you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And remember, happiness isn't found in what we have, but in how we appreciate what we already hold. Stay content, stay grateful, and stay happy.